We are Film Seizure, and we're here to talk about movies made about comic books and stuff. Hello, everybody. Welcome to July. And July here at Film Seizure is Comic Book Month. So guess who picked these movies? I can't
Geoff.
hear it there. I couldn't hear your drumstick.
You couldn't
your count
hear it?
off. I couldn't hear your count off. Anyway, yes. Here we are. July. It's Film Seizure. It's Comic Book Month. We are kicking things off with Scott Pilgrim versus the World. A incredibly charming movie that has remained the same consistency of charming since I first saw it 15 years ago. But with me, as always, I have Chuck Moore. Chuck.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey,
How
how's
are
it going? It's
Good.
going all right. Are you the drummer since you were trying to count us off there?
I am Chuck Bob. Yeah.
Also, Jason Oliver. Jason,
Hey,
how goes it?
not young Jason.
Not young Jason, no.
He's just Jason now.
I dubbed thee Jason. Wow.
Ay.
All right. So, yes, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. This is based on the 6-chapter, 6-graphic novel set by Brian Lee O'Malley, although put an asterisk in that because technically this movie went into production before he had completed book 6. So there is a little bit of a difference in the way that this ends compares to the way that series ended. Yeah, came along just a little bit later, actually, after the series had first started being published. It started being published in 2004, and this came into existence as a movie through Edgar Wright, who I think was the right person for something like this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He definitely gets the material, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. What's funny is that this is there's a lot. The book series has a lot going on. Have either one of you read the books?
Nope.
I think I read the first one when this was coming out, but I never finished the series.
Yeah. The first book ends after he defeats Matthew Patel.
Yes.
So it's not until book 5 before we even find out who Gideon is and what that's all about. And so it's more expanded because, which I always found funny because I knew that there was a song on the soundtrack called Summertime, which was interesting because there is a whole piece of a book about Scott and Ramona spending a summer with the band and like hanging out with everybody. And it took months to tell the story in the comic. Whereas this is like, I don't know, 3 days, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
It's quite condensed, but I think it's condensed in all the right movie ways. But yeah, I saw this in the theater on opening day. I believe I saw it with friend of the show, Joe Berryhill, on opening night because he had read the books too.
That would not be surprising.
So yeah, we were like, yeah, man, we need to go check this movie out. And, we were laughing like idiots throughout the whole thing.
It's still pretty funny.
Yeah, it is. So did either of you see it in the theaters?
I did, yeah.
I did. Yes, this was one of those movies that you kind of felt like you had to go to the theater, I think, to see it, because just the way it looked and everything, I think you wanted to see it on the big screen. Plus, there was a lot of excitement around it, as I remember it. Like in our group of friends, like everybody wanted to see it. I don't know about the world at large, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think this was around the time I was still pretty much seeing everything that came out in the theater as well. But I was also, yeah, I wanted to see it quite a bit. The Edgar Wright factor also kind of like amplified that.
And there was it just looks cool too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like you like see any little bits of this movie packaged together in a commercial or a trailer or something, and it just looks like something that you want to know more about. It definitely plays into like, it's got a video game aesthetic to it. I mean, down to 8-bit music being used for the Universal fanfare. Crash and the Boys and Clash of Demon Head are both NES games. So like the whole thing has always been very in tune with like that 80s era video game stuff, which is also why I think this is like a quintessential Gen X type of story movie.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed that neither of my kids watched this with me because they were both busy yesterday. It seems like the perfect film to introduce to the next generation too, to see what they think. The first bit would probably piss them off. The whole Knives Chow and how old she is and everything would probably piss them off. I'm surprised. I don't know. I guess I just don't remember, but I would think like in 2010 we would have been like, that's a little weird. That's a little weird. But
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think there's a little bit more about like, I think there's definitely more of Knives in the book, or in the books, but yeah, it's I mean, it's a thing that like it's kind of a vehicle for Scott's like growth, right? That
yeah, but they could have just made her 18.
Sure.
Like, yeah, it's just a little weird.
I don't know. It's Canada,
Yeah, it's Canada. In Toronto, it's totally cool.
Yeah, I guess. But it's but he does take he does take slack for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's funny is the one person who could probably speak the most sense into him doesn't give him flack for anything because he just likes having a fan.
Oh yeah,
because Steven should be the one who's like, whoa, dude. But
well, I think Wallace probably should tell him he's an idiot, but
he does that all the time, so I don't think that gets through Scott's thick. Yeah, I don't think that gets through his thick skull. But yeah, it's a movie that's full of people also that will become big deals. Michael Cera was already a star. Brandon Routh was already Superman, but there's a lot of other big deal people in this cast.
Dude, like every time someone showed up, I was like, holy shit. Cause I haven't seen this probably since it came out and then was released on like HBO or something. I watched it, but I haven't seen it since it came out. So like all the faces, I was like, Jesus, like everybody is in this movie.
I mean, there's 2 Oscar winners in this movie.
Who are the 2 Oscar winners?
Brie Larson and Karen Culkin.
Oh yeah, Brie won one.
Yeah. Too. I mean, Brie wins one not long after this.
And she's not even in this a whole lot.
No. Jason, she's the one who's playing the blonde in this one.
Yeah.
She's Envy, Natalie.
Yes.
Wait, who's the other Oscar winner?
Karen Culkin.
Oh yeah, he just won.
Yeah. But yeah, it's it's all flavor of these other characters that are like in the books too, because like there's a whole reason why she, I can't remember what the V stood for, but why Natalie changed her name to NV. It was her first initials when she became famous. There's like a whole story. There's like pages devoted to that, but it's not important here. But all these extra players in this and all these extra like cast members sprinkled in is just the extra flavor to this already kind of perfect pizza of a movie.
There's one thing I'm curious about, and Jeff, since you read it, you can answer this because I don't remember. When she says there's a highway through his head that she travels all the time, is she just joking? In the context of the movie, I think she's just joking. But is that something she does in the books? Yeah,
absolutely,
okay.
It is. Yeah, it's there's a whole metaphysical element, and that is not a joke in the movie either. I mean, it's like physically, like, because there are doors. Like, she's always looking for a door to escape through, basically.
I guess that makes sense.
And it goes through people's heads. So yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy concept, but it plays in video game logic.
Right.
So yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so I mean, I guess we should talk about the once upon a time in the far off land known as Toronto, Canada.
Toronto.
Yes. Toronto.
And
yes,
either of you watched the Rob Ford documentary yet on Netflix, The Trainwreck?
No.
About Rob Ford is right. He was the mayor of Toronto, the big guy. He was caught on video smoking crack.
Oops.
And he essentially like set the template for Trump and how to like diffuse the media by calling everything just like gaslighting, essentially, right? It was like in 2010 when he was mayor. Yeah, it's wild story. But it's kind of crazy to watch it. It's like no one from Toronto should, well, at least the ones who supported Rob Ford should ever look at America and be like, how could they be so crazy? Because they were like crazy. Because he was that cult of personality that they were just like couldn't believe he could do anything wrong, even though they have video fucking evidence. It was wild.
Right.
Yeah. Toronto's a cool city, though. Have you been either?
I mean, I lived near there for most of my life, so I went a few times. Yeah, we went to Toronto. Is a very cool city. I went to a Blue Jays game. I went to Pantages Theater to see Phantom of the Opera, the Andrew Lloyd Webber. That was like a school trip, which is cool. And we sat close enough that like there was warnings about sitting close and getting your eyebrows burned off by the pyrotechnics and legit like singed eyebrows when I went to. Thank God I didn't have a beard or anything, or I might have lit on fire. I don't know, but yeah, I've been there a few times, and Canada was there for all of us when we turned 18.
Yeah.
I only lived there for a few months, but definitely made my way up there a few times.
I've never been to a more stoned city in my life.
Really?
And I've been to Amsterdam.
That's crazy. I had that experience.
I've never seen so many people just openly smoking pot. I've never seen so many head shops, marijuana stores. Like, it is just an insane proliferation of marijuana in that city.
It's so weird. It's so weird because I've been to San Francisco twice in the last like 3 years. The first time I was there, I could not believe how much, like, even though it's legal, I was like, everyone's on the corner smoking pot. You smell it everywhere you go.
Yeah.
This last time I went, I didn't smell it at all. And I was staying in a different part of the city, but still, it was everywhere the first time I was here. So I don't know.
That's strange. Yeah, San Francisco is pretty stony, but man, it's Toronto. Toronto wins with a bullet. It's crazy.
That's crazy. It wasn't like that when I was a kid, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, I've only been once, and it was about a year ago. And yeah, I would go back. It's pretty rad.
But you're going to have to let us know all the different places that you.
I know, that's the weirdest part
that you went to. That's in this movie.
I hadn't probably seen this movie in 10 years. I'd definitely seen it a couple of times at home, like on home video. But this had been the first time I'd seen it in a while. And yeah, I'm watching it. I'm like, holy shit, I've been there. Holy shit, I've been there. It's like I went on the Scott Pilgrim pilgrimage. I said, and I didn't even. Yeah.
I like
pretty
it.
Strange.
So we begin in that mystical place known as Toronto, Canada, And we pick up the story. Scott Pilgrim is dating a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
That is exactly how the books open too. He is rebounding. And but it is true that he Knives does turn 18 during the course of the books too. Like she's almost 18. But Scott, it's not really a relationship because they are kind of a good couple, but not for the right reason. Like they're more like a good friendship.
They kind of go out of the way to show that they're not really like physical at all.
Yeah, because he's
kissed.
Scott
just likes her adoration, and
exactly,
she basically likes that he's in a band.
Well, yeah, and it's an older boy that's paying attention to her. And yes, every time he tries to describe her, it gets worse for him because she's Asian. She's a schoolgirl.
Yeah.
And he has to admit that, yes,
it's like
even
all
with
the cliches.
Yeah, it's like she even has the uniform, you know.
And it's even a Catholic school uniform.
Yes. And he's embarrassed by that, but at the same time, like they go and they have like that one ninja game that they play that's kind of like Dance Dance Revolution that they're like totally in sync on.
Oh yeah, but she pays for everything.
Well, yeah, he's perpetually broke. Yeah. I mean, but yes, Scott has a band called Sex Bob-omb, and I know, Chuck, they stole the Bob-omb idea.
That's fucked up.
And and they're just it's just grungy garage music, really. I mean, it's granted it's helped by the fact that Beck wrote all of their songs, but but yeah, it's like they're just noise, really. And they don't really have any fans. They don't really have any,
I wouldn't say it's just noise. Garbage Truck is a hell of a song.
That's a fun song.
No. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is one of the best soundtracks in the history of film. But like it's always played up as if they're not a polished sound.
Yeah, I think Beck even said when he wrote and recorded all the music for Sex Bob-omb in 2.5 days. He said it was something that I just had to underthink.
Yeah. Yeah, and, which is funny because like you even underthink the Ramona song, but it's like the most beautiful, like well-produced song of the ones that he wrote. But yeah, it's like it's just simple, you know, but it's all simple, like kind of garagey. It's very distorted, you know, it's like distortion heavy. You know, but yeah, they don't have any fans until Knives comes along, and everything is fine with Knives, at least for Steven, the lead singer and the guitarist, because she thinks they're neat. Kim, who is the drummer, Allison Pill, this was the first time I ever saw her in anything, but she used to be she went to high school with Scott, and they dated in high school.
She would be one of the evil exes for sure.
Oh, if Scott had them?
Yeah, if Scott had them, yeah. Well, yeah, because, oh God, the whole thing, it's like, oh, that was a long time ago. She's fine. Everything's fine. And she's just like staring at him.
Daggers at him. Yikes.
Yeah, this probably would have been the first thing I remember her from, too.
I was trying to look to see what else she's been in.
I think where I like really knew her name was probably when she was on the Newsroom. But yeah, that was around this time, I think.
I mean, is she actually in Milk? I don't know how big her role is in Milk, but I definitely had seen that.
I honestly don't think I've seen that. Some of these movies, like Piece of April, I know I saw, but I don't remember her in it.
And Goon is later. I would have remembered her from Goon, but that's a year later. God, the Newsroom was good.
Yeah, it was. It was good until it wasn't. It was kind of one of those shows that sort of like wore out its welcome. But yeah,
got a little bit too into
in love with itself. Yeah.
I would agree with that.
She was in the first 2 seasons of Picard, and it was never good until the third season.
Well, she wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't.
She was not in the third season. No.
That's right. She was like the weird Borg lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there were moments, but that character was ill conceived from the beginning. But anyway, but like she and Scott, actually, I think the two of them knew each other, like historically, like from the books and everything, knew each other the longest. Like they even went to like, I think they grew up together or something like that, or something like that. They had known each other the longest out of everybody in this movie.
It makes sense. It would be her or Wallace for sure. Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Wallace is Scott's gay roommate who owns everything in the apartment except for Scott's shitty stuff.
And they even share a bed, which cracks me up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like how the bed progressively has more people in it.
Super large, apparently.
But those are the primary characters. You have the three members of the band. Oh, and then the band's roadie kind of understudy, young Neil.
Yeah.
Young Neil.
Do they actually say? I don't know if they actually give Steven's full name in the movie, but it's Steven Stills. It's Steven Stills, young Neil. Yeah. But then,
damn!
What?
I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah. And then so there's the three members of the band. There's young Neil, there's Knives, and then there's Wells.
Yeah.
And then
that's where I remember him from. Jennifer's Body, young Neil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's Amanda Seyfried's boyfriend.
Yep.
Okay.
Jennifer's Body. Yep. Anyway.
Gotcha. Okay. You know what Ellen Wong was in? Knives, Jason. You and I saw that movie. The Void.
No shit.
She was in The Void.
Huh. I need to see that again. I haven't watched it since we saw it in the theater.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
I think this is a lot of Canadian actors with a few American actors sprinkled in this movie.
Yeah, it's a lot of Canadian music with a few American artists sprinkled in.
Yeah.
And an English guy writing the score.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, you got English director too. So.
Yep.
But
Edgar Wright must have had a lot, even like the talent attached to the movie that's not in the movie is kind of insane with Beck and Nigel Godrich, who's like produced Radiohead for decades.
Mm-hmm. He's also a Beck producer, so that's where that connection came from.
I didn't realize that. I should have realized that.
He's been producing Beck's music since Mutation, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's like I didn't know who was going. Like, I didn't have like an idea of like, oh, this who should be the writer for these songs that like our main characters play. But the moment they said that it was going to be Beck, I was like, yep, that's the right one. It's like,
makes
that's
sense,
perfect.
because he writes good. Like if you listen to his, I can't even remember the first two albums. We'll just say the first two albums. Good but trashy garage rock.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Oh, the music in this is very Odelay coded.
I would say it goes even further back than that.
Yeah, I was thinking One Foot in the Grave and
One Foot in the Grave, Mellow Gold. Yeah,
sure.
Yep.
But it's all. I mean, Odelay, fair enough. Yeah.
Well, I think it also depends on which version of the songs you listen to, right? If you listen to the noisier Sex Bob-on versus his versions, like the more slicker ones.
Yeah.
I think, but it's all, I mean, again, it's all the same guy, right? Like it's that early age of Beck is all the same guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, and so,
Are there longer versions of the Crash and the Boys songs on,
nope. Not on the soundtrack. Nope.
That's Broken Social Scene that did those.
Yeah.
Really? Jesus Christ.
They did a ton of music in the movie. A lot of it is played kind of really under conversations and stuff. But yeah, they did the Crash the Boys songs.
Yeah.
I'm sad. I'm so very, very sad.
I hate you.
I hate you, and
I even want you to all die. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what's the what is the one song that they tied to Knives' character?
Oh, I don't know.
That was the hang on a second here.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to. Oh, Anthems of a 17-Year-Old Girl.
Oh yeah.
That's
the
them.
Social
Yeah.
Scene song.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like a big song for the soundtrack, but it's very quiet in the movie, but it's there. Yeah.
Because it's played. There's a very specific point in which it plays where it's like end of second act, like everything's going to hell, and that's her
That song
realization of that.
Gen Z is now like remaking, like doing covers of that song. It's wild.
Oh, there's a real good cover in this one. The By Your Side cover is excellent in this. The Sade song that Beachwood Sparks does in this movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Scott is hanging out with a 17-year-old girl. They mostly just go to the music store. They mostly just go to the arcade. He gets somebody who will listen to his silly bullshit musings on the origins of Pac-Man. God, do I identify with that? I just want somebody to hear my bullshit. Anyway,
I mean, we do it once a week.
yeah, I know. But I have more bullshit I could feed you.
You have more bullshit to contribute to
Yes.
the world.
I have so much bullshit to contribute. Somebody would just listen.
Love it.
But anyway, but he does have these visions of a girl rollerblading through his head when he's alone with his thoughts and he's in a desert all alone feeling sad for himself. A girl comes by to tell him that everything's okay, but he doesn't know who this person is. And he tries to describe what he saw, but Wallace, he's too busy like sleeping off, sex night with his boyfriend that are all in the same bed together.
Yep.
And so also it's starting to get around that he is seeing a 17-year-old girl because his older sister, Stacy, played by Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
She's she doesn't have time for Scott's bullshit, but she will tell him that he's an idiot. And at least in a nicer way than Julie will, because she constantly has to be censored, mystically censored whenever she drops F-bombs, which is
Fucking Aubrey Plaza, man. I love her.
Yeah.
yes.
Like whenever she shows up in this movie, I'm like, yes.
Well, every time she shows up, it's a jump scare almost.
Yeah, she like comes out of nowhere. She's behind someone's shoulder at one point. I'm like, holy shit, where'd she come from?
Yeah. Well, and he's even like, don't you wait, you work here too?
It's called work.
But yeah, so he is out with Knives. This is one of those situations where his own slackerdom has caused him to be late to take Knives to the library.
Libraries remind me of grade school.
Which is hilarious because he's dating essentially a grade schooler.
Well, isn't he waiting for a package? That's why he's late. Like
No, this is how he finds out that Ramona delivers packages.
Well, I thought he ordered something cool before that too, once he saw her for the first time at the party. But maybe not. Anyway, doesn't matter.
No, he sees her at the library before the party, because that's how he knows how to draw her. Which is just like the fucking circle with squigglies.
Oh, that's Ramona Flowers.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, he just goes up to people. Do you know a girl who looks like this? And just holds up the shitty drawing.
Yep.
But anyway, so yeah, so he sees the girl from his dreams, and he tells Wallace it's like she's real, and Wallace is like, who, whatever. It's like, yeah, I don't know, whatever. He's like, he has little time for, but he's also Stacy's best friend, because anytime that Scott tells him something juicy, even if he's falling asleep, he will text it to Stacy.
That joke in the movie is very funny. Like how quickly and when he can text her information. Like she finds shit out when he's like passed out.
It's like, how do you do that? Yeah, so basically, he discovers that Ramona is real and that she delivers packages for Amazon.ca, to which he asks Wallace, what's the website address for Amazon.ca?
He's like, Amazon.ca.
And then he orders something and waits by the door like a dog. And, and this is during a time in which Amazon's not delivering that shit on the weekends.
Right. Yeah.
Because he's like, that's Saturday. You got to wait until Monday to get your package.
I don't even remember those days, but I do kind of remember when Amazon was just books.
Yeah,
but I don't
books
remember,
and movies.
Yeah, I don't remember them.
I wasn't probably using Amazon that much in 2010, to be honest. When this movie came out, I probably knew of it, but didn't really use it that much.
I bet you if you look at how much money they were making that year versus 10 years later is astounding.
Oh, it's probably crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a whole ass fucking GDP of some collection of countries.
Right.
Wonder if I can look at my Amazon account and see.
Oh, try to go all the way back. Yeah. I don't know if it goes back that far.
It's for fun. I don't know if it does either.
I also remember a time when Amazon wasn't selling a bunch of...
Oh my God, it does. And yes, I had 13 orders placed in 2010.
Oh my God.
And they were pretty much all movies. Want to know what I bought?
Yes.
Yeah, actually.
All right. Well, there was some college books, because I do remember I used to try and find like earlier editions of the textbooks I needed, because I could get them for like 5% of the cost, right?
Yeah, pennies on the dollar. Yeah.
But here's what I bought movie wise on Amazon in 2010. I bought this little independent movie called Ink. That was the first thing I bought. Then The Prestige, Firefly, the complete series.
Nice.
Kick-Ass.
Okay. Yeah.
Moulin Rouge, and the Lost Room miniseries. The Sci-Fi Channel miniseries Lost Room. That's what I bought on Amazon in 2010.
Did you wait by the door for them to be...
Probably.
Yeah.
So my first order ever was 2011. It was Xbox Game Pass. But the first movie I ever bought on there was Stop Making Sense in 2012.
Nice.
That was the first thing you bought? Was it
First movie I bought was Stop. Yeah, like the year before I ordered something.
Gotcha. Dude, I guess I was ordering stuff all the way back to 2003 somehow.
2011 is my oldest order.
I got a Beth Gibbons CD and the Twin Peaks pilot episode on DVD in 2003.
That's crazy.
Amazon. It was crazy. Yeah. So I take it back. I was
avid.
Yeah.
You prop this company up.
I was.
It's your fault.
I was an early adopter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought the Dark Tower book 7 in 2004.
Dang. I was still going to bookstores for sure doing that.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't really buy more than one or two things though for those first few years. 2010 was probably one of the bigger years. That's when I started to.
Well, I remember when brand names on Amazon used to be pronounceable.
Like, I didn't even order anything in 2009.
It was an off year for things.
Yeah, it must have been. Anyway,
off year for things and stuff.
Yeah.
So Scott ends up discovering that this girl's real. He orders something off of Amazon. He waits for it, but then this is when he starts to get out of sync with Knives.
Yes.
because then they're not doing as good on the video game. He's not as interested in what she has to say at the music store.
Well, he's constantly daydreaming about
Ramona now. Yeah.
Like
That's
constantly. And like time keeps passing. It's a really cool kind of edit the way Edgar Wright does it, where you see him and then he shows up, he's in a different place in the same like position, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good stuff. Passage of time. Yeah.
There's also a pretty good comedic cut when he ends up having to break up with Knives. That cracks me up when he's riding the bus home.
Oh yeah. There's some really good cuts.
Yeah. But anyway, so what he does get also is an email from somebody, because it's like, hey, this thing just said I have mail. What's that mean?
I bet you at the time that was way funnier than it is now too, because the nostalgia of that is kind of worn off, like humor wise, if that makes sense. But in 2010, it probably would have been really fucking funny.
Well, and that's the other thing I wanted to ask you. Do you guys get the impression that it's not 2010 in this movie?
Oh yeah, I feel like
it's like 2000
earlier.
Yeah. And I think that was always, I could be wrong, but I think that was something kind of established in the book series too, that even the video contemporary
games, even the video games are more 90s style than the aughts style. So I think it is meant to take place somewhere in the late 90s when all this stuff was new.
Yeah.
Like who wouldn't know? Like I remember the first time I dialed into AOL was like 97 maybe.
Yeah.
I think. So it was probably somewhere shortly after that.
I mean, I date it with Broken Social Scene, right? And that album, You Forgotten People, that has Anthems from a 17-Year-Old Girl, is in 2002.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. That seems a little bit more likely to me.
I can dig it. A little bit post Y2K.
Yeah, and that would have been early Amazon.
Yeah.
Very early Amazon. Yeah.
Well, and also, I mean, granted, it is still 2010 when the movie comes out, but there are foam booths everywhere. There's Wallace has a flip phone.
Yeah.
He doesn't have like a BlackBerry or something,
Right.
Yep.
So
I definitely had a flip phone in 2002. Yep.
I didn't have a flip phone then, but I had like the little common Nokia. That was just like the little.
I think I had a Razor. Was that 2002?
That was later because I had a Razor, and I got a Razor when I started working at my current job. So that was about 20 years ago.
I would say my first Razor was when I lived here, so it was after 2005, but I don't know how old it was then.
But that wasn't my
what
first.
Was old is new again.
Before that too.
Oh yeah, those little flippy phones.
No, this is a Razor. This is a Razor.
Oh, it's an actual Razor?
Yeah.
Is it the screen? Is it the bendable screen though?
Yep.
Viewers, you can't see this at home, but Geoff is literally bending his screen right now.
Oh yeah. And it's got the outside screen too. Yeah, so you can do some stuff on the outside.
Nice.
Yeah, Razor would have been 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was version 3. So yeah, it still would have been almost right around that time. So yeah, anyway.
Anywho. So he gets the package from, or he he goes to the party also, because this is before he gets the package. He goes to the party, he finds Ramona, he tries this Pac-Man thing. He's like, you know Pac-Man? She's like, I know of him. Like the cool chick that she is, it's like, she's not giving this guy anything here.
Right.
But again, the edit of seeing him like squish the cup when he's like going to make his approach on her, and like sliding in the frame to start talking to her. But yeah, and he's like, he's an idiot when he's talking to her there. That doesn't get much better on Monday morning when she delivers the package, and he still is like, it's like, I'm the guy you met at the party. And she's like, oh, the Pac-Man guy. He's like, no, not him. I don't know who that guy is. I was the other guy. Yeah. But he keeps like, kind of rambling on, and he's like, I want to go, let's go hang out, get a coffee or go hang out or something. And she's like, if I agree to this, will you just sign for your damn package? Which he signs, tosses it into the trash can. But yeah, so they end up meeting for a date. And it's, it's Toronto, Canada. It's cold, It's cold in Toronto all the time, right? I'm sure it's cold right now in Toronto.
It's not always cold in Toronto. It's not.
Is it always cool, though?
No, it was pretty hot when I was there.
I meant cool in the other way.
Oh, yes. Yes, I would say so. It is very cool.
God, that's
There was
terrible.
when I was
that was really clumsy how I led you into that.
when I was there was a poutine festival. I shit you not. There was a
That
poutine
sounds
festival in, like
fantastic.
one of their main downtown city squares. It's like their version of Times Square. There was a poutine festival, and they had a Guns N' Roses cover band. It was hilarious.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
I wish that they would have changed all the songs to be like poutine related.
Yeah. Oh God. Yes. Yeah. Well, that's funny because we were actually doing that. We were changing all the lyrics to ourselves. To Guns N' Roses themed or poutine themed Guns N' Roses songs. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, that would have. I mean, if if Film Seizure ever makes a movie, we're having that scene where we all go to the poutine festival, and there's a
Guns N' Roses band, and they're doing poutine versions of the Guns N' Roses songs. Yes, yes.
Chuck, you missed something golden. We'll tell you later.
Sweet.
It has nothing to do with
Toronto,
the movie.
that's all.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so they go out. It's okay. You find out a little bit that that Ramona's from New York, that she had to get away from New York. That was one thing also earlier. Of course, Stacy knows about Ramona. Julie forbade Scott from dating Ramona Flowers for whatever reason. Just because. Just because he's kind of a loser. And there's the one guy that's at every party who knows everything about music. He shows up a couple of times.
He's at the fucking end in the club. Yeah, he's everywhere. He's that guy that everyone knows, but nobody really wants to talk to. Kind of.
Well, because you're going to get into a conversation that's going to be beyond your own knowledge point. Where it's like, I don't fucking care about this band that nobody's heard of, or whatever. It's like, I just came here to get a drink, man.
Yeah, what's his name? He's so familiar.
Yeah, he is. He's super familiar looking.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe he just reminds me of a guy who used to be like that at every party I ever went to.
Maybe, yeah.
It reminds you of Jason?
Oh! No, Jason understands his audience. He understands what I know.
I've also met many, many matches to that. Like, holy cow. There are people I know now, like this one guy who used to own a record store that is just I went with Big Ears. With Susan, I went with him and his wife, and oh my gosh, he is that guy. He's like the guy who's like knows every label.
Was he the duck guy?
Every label that they're on, and every like a collaborator they ever had, and oh my god, it's partial impressive and also partially like super annoying.
Is it the guy that was in line behind us at Record Store Day? That dude?
No,
because he knows a lot of shit too. The duck guy.
Most people in line at the Record Store Day are going to be a little annoying, unless they're just there for Taylor Swift. But that's a different kind of annoying.
That's a whole different brand of annoying. Yeah. Well,
I don't think you've ever met him, Chuck.
Got it.
But I will say though, it's like Jason doesn't do that because he knows his audience. He knows what my limits are.
I was joking.
He knows when I begin to tune out if he gets a little bit over the line,
Over the line, Smokey.
Yeah,
Market zero.
it's like I imagine would I be annoyed listening to Geoff talk about infinite, whatever the hell it's called, Crisis on Infinite Earths, and that's when I know, okay, that's the look I would have. I was like, I've probably gone too far. Yeah.
No, it's only, I mean, and you know that I don't do that unless it's a joke.
It's all jest.
It's all in jest, yes.
All jest.
But if you ever want to talk about it, we can, I'll pull out the whiteboard.
I gotta tell you, now I'm kind of curious about that new history of DC. I'm kind of curious. I know. I might have to read it. Anyway.
They haven't even gotten to the recognizable people yet. Anyway, so yeah, and so it starts to snow and it gets cold. And Scott feels like he's ruined, like the whole thing is ruined, to which she's like, well, it's not necessarily, I've had worse dates than this, basically. And he's like, oh, this is a date. And so she invites him back to her place for, I wish I knew that list of teas that she had.
Oh yeah, it's pretty impressive.
There's one in there that's like death.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
The death one, whatever that says. Bone crusher. I don't remember.
But yeah, and she's like, well, I'm going to go and change. And Scott, like an idiot, walks in on her. But it's all cool. She's like, hey, this is all right. Let's get into the bed. And he's like, I don't think I want that tea anymore. And it's like, good call.
This is kind of like the only part of this movie that annoys me is she really shouldn't like him at all. Like, it's just kind of really goofy, but whatever. We need it for the movie.
I would
Liver
argue,
disaster.
Liver disaster. That's the one. Yes.
Liver disaster. Yeah, it probably helps cure your liver earlier. Like, that's a whole thing now. That was
here it is.
15 years
Yes.
ago, right? Everything is like how to, take care of your liver now. So many different drinks for that.
Here it is. What kind of tea do you want? There's more than one kind. We have blueberry, raspberry, ginseng, sleepy time, green tea with lemon and honey, liver disaster, ginger with honey, ginger without honey, vanilla almond, white truffle, blueberry chamomile, vanilla walnut, constant comet, and Earl Grey.
All of them are real except for liver disaster.
Did you make some of those up? This is the response to that.
Where's her Darjeeling? That's weird. Okay, anyway.
Or English breakfast.
Yeah. Why don't you do that?
But anyway, so she's like, they get in the bed. They're kind of doing a little makeout business. And then she decides to change her mind. And he's like, from what to what? She doesn't want to have sex with him on the first date, but she does reserve the right to change her mind about that later. And he's like, no, this is good. This is nice. It's been a long time since I've been, just close to somebody, it's a very sweet ending to this, scene here. And I was going to say, Jason, that I think she likes him because he's not trying to impress her in the normal ways that I think she gets.
I think it's because he's harmless.
That's about what I can buy is that, he's harmless completely. Yeah,
he's kind of a silly.
She doesn't also see herself getting attached.
She could walk away at any time instead because she's been in. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a goofy goober.
Yep. Goofy goober.
Rock.
But yeah, so he wakes up the next morning. We got the Seinfeld slap bass as he comes in.
Yeah.
There are some good like. This one's obvious, right? But there's some good like references to other movies and stuff in this that you have to know to get.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
There's a real good one at the end. Maybe you want to watch Flash Gordon after it. But,
oh yeah. Oh man, imagine if Edgar Wright could do Flash Gordon.
That'd be pretty sweet.
I bet he'd do it pretty good.
I bet he would. Yep.
Yeah.
That is due for a modern kind of Edgar Wright version too. Like a little cheekier than the original.
Yeah. But kind of lean into the camp in a
in the right way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this movie, led to Edgar Wright originally supposed to be doing Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he was attached to that.
Well, he's still an executive producer on those.
Yeah.
But he ended up leaving. But the tone was from him.
Yeah, I
Makes
think
sense.
weren't there still some creative differences though?
Yes, but the general, like, we're going to get Edgar Wright, who's going to get Paul Rudd, and make this a kind of a sillier, lighter corner of
that's something I kind of want to talk about next week. That we don't get as much as we need, I feel, in superhero movies anymore.
Okay, well, we'll get there when we get there, right? We'll get to it. But anyway, so he tells Wallace he's happy because he got to first and a half base or whatever, or second and a half base, and
he says second base and then he reduces it to first and a half.
Right? Yeah.
And Wallace is like, you might get the second and a half base tonight.
Right.
Play your cards right.
Play your cards right. Yeah, because he's going to invite her over for dinner, which, God, the dinner is just garlic bread.
I could eat garlic bread for every meal. I could eat it forever.
Especially if it's
you'll get fat.
Toast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so
bread makes you fat.
Oh yeah, that whole thing with the haircut and the quick application of a hat.
Oh my God! At one point, it's like hysterically fast. Later, all those little jokes like make me laugh. Yeah.
But anyway, so like, but Wallace does have the smart. He does do the grown up thing here. He's like, you have to break up with Knives because if you don't, I'll tell Ramona all about her, and that will ruin that.
Yeah.
And he's like, but that's hard. It's like, I don't want to.
It's hard.
And so he's like, no, you've got to break up with her. It's the ultimatum. So he goes to the phone booth to call Knives, to which she's like, are you wearing a goofy hat and a green jacket or whatever? And he's like, how do you know this? Why are you spying
This
on?
hat's not goofy.
Why are you psychic?
Why are you psychic?
So he ends up having to break up with her because, and at the record store, just as she was professing her love of him.
Yeah.
And, of course, it goes into like that black box style where it's like it's all and
they're in a void.
Yeah. And all of her like her little cartoon hearts and the love, the pink haze of that like all dissipates around him, and then he just steps away.
He's on the bus,
and then he's on the bus where we hear Todd Rundgren. This cracks me up because he's so sad thinking about Knives, and then the moment he thinks of Ramona, he's like all happy and like chipper.
Yeah.
And it's just like I mean, in any other way, this would be like mean and would be like almost spiteful. But come on, this is the stupidity of youth too. You know, especially when you're not fully matured. Like Scott is not mature.
No, right? Like I think he was with the envy all through high school and never really grew up. Like never had an adult relationship. And Knives probably reminds him of his youthful relationship.
Exactly.
Wasn't as serious as life now has to become.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's also reeling from envy breaking up with him.
Yeah. A year ago.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was 441 days ago or something like that.
Yeah, approximately.
But right after you got a bad haircut too.
Yeah.
Because when she comes over for dinner, and he shoos Wallace out of the apartment, who is going to go stalk Lucas Lee. Oh, we didn't even talk. We didn't get to the.
You should talk about the exes.
Yeah, the first time that so he gets an email when he made the order We were just about to talk about that.
Yeah.
And we got off the topic of the "you got mail" joke.
Yes.
But yeah, he gets the email from Matthew Patel saying that they are to fight to the death soon, and he's like, "This is boring." As he's reading it, and he like just deletes it, and then they end up like
Battle of the Bands concert.
they go to the Battle of the Bands, which is because this is also right after the first date, and because they're like they got to go to the Battle of the Bands. Because,
he invites her. She shows up. Knives is there.
which he forgot that she was supposed to be there. It's like she's been invited from scene 1 of the movie,
Right.
Yeah. And this is where you hear Crash and the Boys. In the comic, I believe Crash and the Boys are destroyed by Matthew Patel.
They
Like,
might get destroyed here. Oh no, they're
Yeah.
in it later, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're like vaporized like before they even get to like during the fight or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, it's like they run away or something. Like I don't think they're actually destroyed in this movie, but anyway, the Crash and the Boys just have like the one-line songs, and then when Sex Bob-Omb starts to play, that's when Matthew Patel crashes in through the ceiling. He's a flying pirate.
Not Nick Kroll. I was like, is that Nick Kroll? Is that Nick Kroll?
Pirates in right now.
Pirates are in right now.
Yeah. And this is like one of the, I mean, like Matthew Patel is like kind of one of those, like, he's kind of like one of those wannabe yuppie types or wannabe like preppy. Yeah, where it's like he wants to be like with the fashion or whatever's quote unquote in, but he's just kind of like a sad little pathetic dork.
A little bit, but he has fireballs.
And he does have demon babes.
He has demon hipster chicks.
Yeah. Demon hipster chicks.
Yeah.
And he sings Bollywood style.
Yes. Written by Dan the Automator. I mean,
That was Dan the Automator that wrote? That's hilarious.
yep.
Oh my god.
So tell us how this fight goes, one of yous.
He dies. Scott kills him.
Scott does like, this is the first time you see him fight and you kind of expect him to get his ass whipped,
Yeah.
you know, but he's
It's all
got
kind of like Street Fighter style fighting. It's kind of funny.
yeah,
Yeah, and he's like super skilled at it, which we do find out later why he's super skilled at it, because he's been doing this all his life.
well, I mean, I guess, did he do that before?
Oh yeah, for
real?
Kim. Yeah,
See, I couldn't tell if he was joking or if he
that's
was
in the book
serious.
too. That's in the book too, where he. I mean, like all of these fights that they reference are all the things they do, especially when there's Brian Lee O'Malley art in it. Those are all things directly from the book that are real historical incidents for these characters.
Jeez, he had to fight a lot more people for her then. Anyway,
96 guys and then a big giant guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a final boss battle.
yeah. I mean, yeah, there's one in this too.
There is.
But yeah, the thing about Patel is he can shoot fire, but Scott Pilgrim throws a symbol at him and hits him in the head, and that's basically what ends him.
Yeah.
It's a pretty short fight.
He has a pretty bad rhyming scheme too.
Oh
That
my
doesn't
God.
rhyme.
Yeah, the song is so terrible.
It's what you'd expect from Glass Joe, or like the first first fight,
Easy
you know?
win, yeah. He
Yeah.
only gets 1,000 coins for him.
Yeah.
But it is
But it
kinda
only
cool,
turns into like $2.50.
$2.40.
Not even enough for the bus.
Yeah. But I like how like his reaction to it is like, ooh. Like,
coins.
So that leads. So that's when because like he asked him, like, didn't you read my email? And he's like, I skimmed it, and which Wallace is like, no.
You will pay for your insolence.
I like that Wallace is the first person who like stands up and is like, fine. It's like eggs it all on. Anytime that anybody speaks in slow motion, it cracks me up in this movie because it goes on for too long to the point where it's like there's whole like entire bits of like exposition dialogue that's told in slow motion. Like the whole thing about Roxy's knee.
Oh yeah.
And it just cracks me up. But anyway, so we find out that it's like, okay, well, Ramona has evil exes, and Scott keeps saying ex-boyfriends, and she keeps correcting him. Exes.
Why do you keep saying that?
But yes, there is he's going to have to fight her 7 evil exes to basically date her, to which he's like, so I guess we're dating now then. And she's like, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess so. And that's when we get to the dinner, the garlic bread dinner, where Wallace is going to go and stalk Lucas Lee.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, Lucas Lee cracks me up.
They make movies in Toronto.
I thought someone was going to mention a shitty Sheen or something.
Oh my God, the
shitty Sheen. Meta aspect of it is, yes, this movie's being made in Toronto.
Right.
Killed me.
But Lucas Lee, we find out is Captain America.
Chris Evans, baby.
Yeah, Chris Evans in his still early, quirky, comedic performances.
He's a fucking like handlebar, or not handlebar, like a chin strap beard.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, dude, you're such a fuck.
Oh, it's so funny. Because like the clip from the movie that Wallace is watching is like, you're going to hear 2 clicks. Bucko. It's like, listen up, Bucko. It's like the first is me hanging up. The second, me pulling the trigger. It's like, God, just oh God, it cracks me up.
Yeah, he I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point, but he ends up being the second boyfriend, and his shtick is a bunch of stuntmen.
Yes,
is his backup, and they progressively look less and less like him.
And they get shorter too as they fan out.
Yeah. Like one of these guys would never pass for his stuntman.
Good, isn't he? I even let him do the wide shots.
I'm going to get a coffee. You boys need anything?
Yeah, as they're like kicking his ass, like they're all like, no. Well, and then he gets like that text, and he's like, that was actually funny. It's like he narrates everything he thinks. It's great.
I wonder. I thought Wallace texted him at first. I'm like, what did Wallace text him?
I think it was from. I guess I don't know if Scott has a phone, but I always assumed it was from Scott.
Like, I just beat your guys up. Come back here.
No, he doesn't have a phone because he has to go to the phone booth.
That's true.
To call people. But anyway, he ends up, he gets dogpiled by the stunt acting skateboarders. Cause that's the other thing. Like Lucas Lee is a skateboarder turned actor.
It's like Jason Lee or something. Like
basically, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
The macho Jason Lee.
Yeah.
Who also thinks he's going to be an Oscar winner from the schlock that he does. Oh, it's great.
Oscar this year.
I'd give this scene an Oscar because he's fucking hilarious.
He's very funny, but Scott wouldn't beat him. Like, most of the time he has to come up with a clever way to win these battles.
The first guy he just kicks. And he explodes into coins.
Yeah, after he hit him with the symbol.
Right.
But
the first one's the only real physical one.
Because Lucas Lee has to convince to do a major grind on a super long rail.
Can you do a thingy?
Can you do a grind thingy?
and Lucas Lee nails it, but
he doesn't stick the landing.
Yeah, Wallace is like, he bailed. But so he wins that fight. He gets 2,000 coins this time, but Ramona's bailed as well. She was like, she fucked off. And this is the beginning of 2 days of Scott Pilgrim like being a whiny crybaby because she's not calling him.
But it gets worse because this is when she does come over for he does end up seeing her, and then she comes over again, but he realizes that she's changed her hairstyle.
Real quick first, just a quick note, because Wallace is like, you should tell her the truth, like bring up the L word, and he's like, lesbians? Which is important later, and he's like, no, love, I'm not trying to trick you. But yes, Ramona does end up coming back. Go ahead, you're about to talk about that.
And because that's when he's like, she changed her hair with, she's fickle, she's gonna get tired of me. And he's like, oh God, you think that I'm gonna gay up the place?
Yeah. To think you were worried I would gay up the place.
But yeah, so all of that takes place, and then they go to the coffee house where Julie also works, because she works at the record store and at the coffee place.
Envy had called him too while he was whining about.
Yes, and because he had said, he had referenced the name Ramona Flowers, to which is very obvious that Envy knows who that is. Seems like everybody but Scott knows who she is.
Right.
And then she shows up at the coffee place because this is another one of those instances where, oh, your hair's getting long. It's like,
yes,
is it?
And then his hat is just on.
Yeah.
So good.
But yeah, it's the big X, and she ends up inviting them to open for their surprise Toronto show. Now, this was the other place you went to, right, Jason? Where this concert is?
Yeah, who is this? The Clash of Demon Head?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Lee's place. Lee's Palace. I've been there. Yeah. Yeah, which was crazy because I was like, wait a minute, Lee's Palace, that sounds familiar. Then
well, it's right next to the pizza that you also apparently went to.
Right, yeah, because we ate that pizza before the show. It was fucking crazy. Like we basically did the whole pizza before the show thing that I'm sure millions of people in Toronto have done at Lee's Palace. But anyway, I was looking at it. I was like, that looks really familiar. And I looked it up, and sure enough, yeah, same place. But what's interesting is they recreated the inside of Lee's Palace on set because they needed angles that they couldn't get otherwise. So they built it without like walls, side walls, and things, so that they could get the angles that they needed. But yeah, it was an exact replica of Lee's Palace. Kind of wild,
crazy.
I should say before we get to that concert, Scott had gotten attacked by a blur of black smoke, who he punches. Which punched a girl in the boob, and she's going.
Punch me in the boob.
Yeah, you're going to die, obviously. And it's Mae Whitman as Roxy, and she's everything she says is almost right. It almost sounds right, but it isn't, and it's brilliant. But yeah, so she will come back later, but like he's. Because he ends up frustrating her with something that she said, and then she just decides to use the smoke bomb to get away, like she's Batman or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now they get to they get to Lee's Palace, where everybody has reconvened to watch Clash of Demon Head. The Sex Bob-omb has played their opening act, and as they come out on stage, well, he notices that there's Envy's new boyfriend, Todd, the bass player, who happens to be wearing number 3 on his shirt.
I wonder what that means.
Yeah. And it's a blonde-haired Brandon Routh. God.
He kills me in this.
He's so good as like a himbo.
I really wish we would see more Brandon Routh in movies.
Yeah.
It's just not fair.
Yeah. And Scott's like, yeah, that's Envy's new boyfriend. And she's like, yeah, I know. It's like, and he's like, starts to like, wait, you know? It's like, yeah, it's Todd. Yeah. It's like, oh no. And so this is where you hear the Metric song. I think I don't know if it's the version in the movie as opposed to the soundtrack, but I think there's a version of it where Brie Larson's actually singing that.
She's singing in the movie.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting story too. I don't know how I missed this all these years, but that she's actually based on Emily Haynes, who is the lead singer of Metric, the MV character. I was like, oh yeah, when you kind of know, when you look at her, it's like, yep, looks just like her, hairdo and everything. But yeah, it's a Metric song that they had written that they never put on an album because they never felt like it felt like a real Metric song.
It's a good song though.
It is a good song. But they had played it live a few times, and then when they were asked to contribute a song for Clash at Demon Head, they were like, "Oh, we have the perfect song," and they were like, "That's the one." Yeah,
it's actually perfectly like the way that it starts with the oh yeahs and the and the oh no, like that's all perfect. Like how that's all set up. It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. Again, of course, another Canadian band, The Metric.
Yeah.
Brandon Routh is a vegan.
His vegan powers.
He's vegan.
Don't you know that makes you better? It just makes you better.
Well, it just makes you better. But he's like pure, right? Because everything, his eyes light up white, his shirt's white.
Yeah, he doesn't partake in anything that has how's he say it?
Anything that has the bones,
bosom, nor the face of like an animal that has neither bosom nor face or something.
Yeah,
like that.
face is definitely the second part of it. Yeah. So he beats the shit out of Scott. He knocks him in the sky.
Well, first thing he does is he knocks the blue hair out of Knives. He knocked
the highlights out of her hair.
Yeah, because Knives is on a revenge tour herself because she wants to win Scott back. So she tries to dye her hair like Ramona
and date
young Neil. Yeah.
Yeah.
To which Scott's like, man, it just makes it easier for him.
I'm not afraid to hit a girl.
Yeah.
I'm a rock star.
I
can do that. Which is funny and sad at the same time. Lots of rock stars have hit women.
Well, sure, but it's funny when Brandon Routh says it as this guy.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's funny and it's sad.
Right.
Because it is a commentary, too.
Yeah.
But he knocks Scott like, I don't know, 2 miles into the sky. And then he starts explaining that he went to vegan school or something to the people on the ground. And
the Vegan Academy.
The Vegan Academy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So really, then there's
he does the whole thing. He does the whole thing about like, you'll have to call the cleaning lady. He's like, what? Yeah. Because by Monday, you'll be dust. And cleaning ladies
clean up dust. Well, he's like, what does Monday have to do with it?
Because it's a Saturday, they take the weekends off.
It's just like the Amazon Prime or Amazon conversation. But yeah, then
Canadians do not work on weekends.
No, they don't. They're lucky.
Yeah.
But he knocks them through a wall, and then they have a base battle, which you kind of figure like this is how he's going to take him, I guess, is with
funky.
Yeah, but he gets his ass beat at that too, and eventually
he just has to use his brain, which is the worst thing that Scott could do, but it works here.
But he's smarter than this guy.
Well,
this guy is a vacant like brain
vegan.
But he gets the vegan police called on him.
Yes.
the Vegan Academy police or whatever,
because he's like, all right, you win, let's here's a coffee to celebrate. And he's like, I can read your mind. You're thinking that you put half and half in one of these cups and you're going to hand me the half and half and I'll take the other one. And so he takes and he drinks and he's like, well, I was thinking really hard about putting the half and half in that one that you just drank out of.
It's kind of like a funny Princess Bride thing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought it would go farther actually, but
no, where it goes is pretty great, though.
Yeah.
Because Jason, who comes in?
Oh my god! In uncredited roles, mind you, Thomas Jane and Clifton Collins Jr. How in the fuck, like, these two guys just happen to be the ones that are the vegan
They must
police?
have been in town.
It's like, it's so random. I mean, those two together and just those two in general is absolutely random that they show up and as the vegan police.
Thank you for telling me the names, because I was like, I know that Clifton Collins obviously had a huge role in Capote, but I couldn't remember who he was when I was watching the movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but those were pretty, even in 2010, those guys were pretty big actors.
And it's our third superhero to show up, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I guess this is fourth. Shit. Brie Larson's also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Scott Pilgrim is too. Don't sell him short.
Well, okay. But Scott Pilgrim's movie has a bunch of DC and Marvel guys in it.
Yes, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Like, it's a who's who of actors that will get huge over the next 10 years.
No, wait. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is also.
What is she?
She's the Huntress in the Harley Quinn movie, or the Birds of Prey movie.
I don't think I saw that one.
My God.
It's pretty fun. Ewan McGregor puts in a brilliant turn.
I did see that one. Yeah, I did see that one. I probably thought it was Brie Larson then.
Probably did. Yeah.
How is she playing in this movie and as Captain Marvel?
The only movie I
Stupid.
remember definitively that Mary Elizabeth Winstead is in is that one Final Destination. I know that she's the Final Destination girl, and Brie Larson is not. That's how I.
Well, wait.
Larson
So
is
you
is
think
the Room girl?
The Room,
That's kinda
which
like-
is funny. That's not going to help you with 10 Cloverfield Lane.
No, that's true because that's Mary Elizabeth
Winstead.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, both of them are bunker movies. Oh my god! See, this is just what my madness.
Now, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is also married to Ewan McGregor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they have children together. Even.
Huh. Well, good for them.
Thanks for scooping us, bro.
I bet they're very pretty.
Probably that probably.
Yep.
She's got to be
anyway,
taller than him too.
The vegan police.
She's very tall.
Vegan
police.
He's
yes.
like, well, Brandon Routh's like, well, don't I get 3 strikes?
This is my first offense.
My first offense is like, no, it was not your first offense. I forget what his 2 offenses.
Gelato was the first one.
Oh yeah, it's like that's not vegan.
No,
it's
chicken parm.
milk and
No,
egg.
yeah, it's milk and eggs, bitch.
Is what
Yeah. And then chicken parm was the first offense.
Chicken's not vegan.
Chicken's not vegan. So they take away his powers, and then Scott strikes him down. I don't remember exactly what he does. And
he says you were once a vegan, now you'll be gone.
now you'll be gone. Yeah.
He's like, vegan?
Yeah, this is another. He kicks him into. He obliterates him with a kick.
And it's in slow motion, and in the background, this is legitimately my favorite thing in this movie. It makes me laugh so much every time I see it. In slow motion, Thomas Janes and Clifton Collins Jr. like run off, like
Yes.
they kind of skip off into the background, and then they jump up and high five each other, and they say, "Yeah!"
I was like, what the fuck was that?
I'm pretty sure I laughed, like I cried laughing the first time that.
Oh,
I saw
that got
in
a
the theater.
huge laugh in the theater.
Oh,
yeah,
my
I
God.
remember that. Yeah. I mean, it's a scene-stealing moment for those two guys.
Oh my god, it is. It really is.
And it's more Clifton than it is Thomas in
God.
this, too. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's super funny. Anyway, I don't know what happens next.
So so at this point, this is you're passed out from laughing, and this is where Scott kind of gets closure with Envy, and he's like, hey, he's like, you just kicked my guitarist boyfriend into coins or whatever she says, basically, and he's like, well, yeah, you kicked my heart in his ass, so I guess we're even, and he calls her Natalie, and she like kind of remembers, oh yeah, that's who she really is. But then he walks off and immediately kind of makes an ass of himself by like trying to figure out like who the hell else is he gonna, like, he just had to take down a super powered vegan. And he's like trying to figure out, like, what's next? Who's next? This sucks. It's like, and she kind of explains that he's the nicest guy she ever dated. And he's like, well, what's that say about, what's that mean? And she's like, I don't know. This is just what I need right now. It's like, well, not later. And he gets contentious. Quite frankly, I mean, I'd be a little contentious if I've been tossed 2 miles up in the air and thrown through brick walls and had to fight a vegan. I'm not going to be too happy about that. By the way, vegans out there, let me know, do you guys have superpowers? Because I believe that to be the case because of this movie.
They might.
They should.
It's awful hard to obtain vegandom because you almost always accidentally eat something. My dog just walked in here and is staring at me. Sorry.
You're gonna eat your dog?
No. But anyway, this is when the girl comes back. Right? Like right as he's having his breakdown with her and they almost break up. Like it seems like it's going that way. But then what's her name again, Geoff?
Roxy.
Roxy shows up. And I don't know how Scott Pilgrim didn't realize before she would be one of the exes, and the reason that she keeps saying exes instead of ex-boyfriends is because she's dated girls. I was by curious.
He had a sexy phase?
Yeah.
Oh god, the whole like the close-ups of like figuring out this, and then like his head, he has the meter, the not gets it.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Great.
That's good. That's probably besides the piss meter, the not gets it. It like cracks me up the most.
Yeah,
I really like the piss meter. I don't know.
That's
So
true. All of that stuff is out of the comics too. Yeah,
Sure, absolutely.
yeah.
I wish I could pee that fast.
Oh, I know, right? It gets longer when you get older.
The pee.
More often it
The
feels
pee.
like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, I have to pee all the time, like every 30 minutes. Anyway, so Scott doesn't want to fight a girl really, so
They're soft.
they're soft. But she steps in. Ramona Flowers steps in to fight her at first, and she's beating her up, and they're having a good fight.
She pulls her hammer out of her purse.
Yeah, she has a hammer, and
I have a figure of Ramona Flowers with her hammer. In the comics, Scott climbs into her purse to be protected by her. And so it's just him sticking out of her purse and her with her big hammer.
I'm really glad they didn't do that in the movie.
I don't know. It's pretty famous part of the comic. I was actually kind of disappointed.
That's probably why they didn't do it in the movie. Anyway, eventually Roxy's like, he has to beat me. You can't. And that's when he says, I don't want to fight a girl that's soft. So she's behind him going through all the motions, making him do the fight. And they're doing pretty good. But then they both get knocked down and Roxy's about to kick stomp his fucking face in.
Yeah. Touch the back of her knee.
Yeah.
Because when we were making out, I touched that part. Fucking kills me.
But then Scott he says something back to her too in slow motion. He's like, "Oh, okay," or something. And then he tickles the back of her knee, which sends her into ecstasy, which is what knocks her out.
She explodes in ecstasy.
Yes. Yes. And Scott wins that fight.
But yeah, things are not good in the Scott Pilgrim Ramona Flowers world. He's had to go through a lot lately, and she does eventually provide the list of what to expect, and
that's when you find out 5 and 6 are twins.
yes, the Katanagi twins.
She dated twins at the same time?
Yeah. Well, and they're also who they have to play in the next Battle of the Bands.
Of course they
round.
are.
Of course.
And oh god, when they arrive and they see the poster, and, and Kim's like, that poster needs more exclamation points because there's like 20 of them on there. Yeah.
And young Neil has his first lucid moment when he's like, I think you guys are going to play at the same time.
Yeah. Because it's amp versus amp. And
Scott,
the twins,
not Scott. The other guy freaks out.
Yeah,
The lead
Steven.
singer.
Yeah. And then they realize that there's like a tower of amps behind the twins, and they're DJs who have mystical dragons that come out of their amps. But
here's the most disappointing thing in the movie for me. It's probably Nintendo licensing, but they couldn't get a bob-omb to blow up and kill the fucking snakes.
I know, right?
Or the dragons, excuse me.
Yeah. They got a bearded King Kong though. But this, they find out that Ramona is there.
I think just to get the sound effects he had to kind of beg.
Yeah,
probably.
it makes sense.
Yeah, I remember reading.
Nintendo is notoriously like stingy about stuff like that. They want to control how.
Oh yeah, their properties. They can't even. So the guy who plays Mario right now can't say any lines that weren't scripted for Mario.
That's insane.
In that voice. Like if he does like signings or something, he can't.
Wow, really?
Yeah, he has to stick to the script.
Oh my god!
People can't be like, say, hey Chuck, go fuck yourself. As Mario. That was pretty good, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh my god, what are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's me, Mario.
So, but yeah, they notice that Ramona is there, and she's talking to a guy. That it all comes. The G-Man Graves, the guy, the big record producer that's going to give away a record deal to the winner of the Battle of the Bands, is Gideon Graves, her ex-boyfriend. And he's the big final boss, and he's there with her. And he's got a Ming ring.
I was like, oh my god, that's so awesome.
I wonder if they had to license that from Queen.
But that can't be a Queen sound. That has to be.
I think it is. I think they created that sound.
I think it's credited to Queen in the
yeah.
music,
oh, that's insane! I never knew that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Anyway. I'm pretty sure if you look in the credits at the end of where they list all the music that's listed, yeah,
it's like a Ming's ring sound. Queen. That's awesome.
But anyway, and like Kim's like, hey, maybe you should go like talk to her before she's gone. But then the battle begins, and at this point, it is amp versus amp, and it's like a tower of amps against their two like little shitty amps. And I think I want to know if somebody knows kanji. I want to know if the twins have an 11 on their amps, because if you notice when they turn it all the way up, it goes to a red number, but it's in kanji. It's not in.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's a Spinal Tap reference.
I'm almost positive it has to be.
Yeah. Let's just pretend it is without even finding out.
We'll just say it is. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, they have like the big two snake demon dragons. And at this point, Scott is just the only way they defeat him is just out of pure anger on this one, because then they just play louder and harder, and the gorilla comes out,
which makes Gideon like the band and want to sign them.
Yeah, which is only there to twist the knife in the Scott.
I guess. I mean, I think it's a little bit of both for sure. Like he would have signed them because of how they did, but Scott's like, nope, I can't sign our contract with you. You're going to need to find a new bassist.
Neil knows all of Neil knows all of my parts. So yeah, I'm out of here. Because then they he leaves with Ramona, and the band has signed with them. They've defeated the twins, and Scott is basically totally on his own. Oh, and also Wallace wants him to move out.
Wallace wants to move out because he wants to have sex in his bed. Like that hasn't been going on the whole fucking time in this movie. But I think he maybe even said this, but Ramona told Scott, like, when I'm around him, I can't control myself.
Right.
And he gets into my head or whatever. And she's like, no, he literally gets into my head.
Yeah, that's later after he dies that she says that and shows him the.
Yeah, you're right. But she does say, I can't control myself around him, and I'm going with him.
Yeah.
Also confirmed, credited as The Ring, Hypnotic Subduction of Dale, remastered 2011, Queen.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Their master date probably doesn't make sense, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because this is the part where it diverges from the comic at this point. The book 6 is not at all like the final act of this movie. Scott does lose his band, but it's because of how he's acting about stuff that they just eventually fire him instead of him quitting. He does move out of Wallace's place and his parents pay for an apartment. So all of that stuff is where things start to diverge. And even Gideon is more obsessed with Ramona, but there's a portion of her that's obsessed with him, and it's more about a striation of the past selves of herself. And it's completely different ending, but it's not. But it takes 5 books before that to get to that point. So It's like, again, condensing it and kind of going with their own ending. But Brian Lee O'Malley had like total, like, I'm A-okay with this direction we're taking here, for the movie. But I think he even helped plot that or something.
I mean, he's credited as a writer, so it makes sense.
But anyway, so basically, when Scott went to go and confront Gideon and Ramona after they defeated the twins, he earned a 1-up. So keep that in mind, bookmark that. And then he later decides, after talking to Wallace, that he's got to go and fight. Oh, also, this is when he tells, when she's about to leave with Gideon, he's like, I'm in lesbians with you. And she leaves.
Lesbians.
I said lesbians. So then, Wallace kind of gives him a pep talk, and he has the big gearing up scene where he puts on his little wristbands, and then he stopped to see him tie his shoe completely and totally. Yeah.
It's really funny because in every other movie it would just be that final
like
thing that he does fast. But they show the whole thing.
And then he goes running out the apartment like a cartoon character, and he shows up at the Gideon's new club where the sex bombs are playing, because that's what he calls them.
Yes.
And their sound is all like depressed, and like now they're like they've sold out basically.
We're not having any fun.
Yeah.
Something like that is the
song. But then he gets stopped by the first doorman, and it's like, what's the password? He's like, whatever. And it's like, that's the password. So they let him in. Then there's 2 guys at the next check-in, and he just sighs at them, and they just let him through. And then so basically
I remember that getting a lot of laughs in 2010 too.
Yeah,
it was very perfect for the time frame.
Yeah. So he confronts Gideon, and he
this is really cool. He tells Ramona he loves her, which gives him
the power of love.
Yeah.
In
the
comics,
Huey Lewis and the News didn't start playing, which is weird.
Right. Well, yeah. In the comics, it's Ramona who earned the power of love in the final fight, because she admits that she loves Scott.
Interesting.
I kind of like that.
Is there a double, like, does he have to redo it? Like he didn't?
Yeah, okay. He did. He, at this point, when he first confronts Gideon, he says he earns the power of It's not self-respect. That's what he gets the second time in the
That's what he
movie.
gets to
Yeah,
win.
it's realization. He earns the power of, or something like that, where it's like he realizes all the stupid shit he's done, and now he's powered by that, which then earns.
But it's cool. He earns the power of love. He's fighting Gideon, and while he's fighting Gideon, Knives Chow comes in and kicks the sword out of Gideon's hand, but then she's there to fight Ramona.
Yeah.
And they like a fight breaks out between both groups, and the power of love is not enough to save Scott. Like he knocks Gideon down the stairs, but while he's flubbering around with the I cheated.
Yeah,
I didn't cheat on you. I cheated on you, but not you.
Yeah, it's like, well, what's the difference? And he's like, you weren't wronged?
Yeah, you weren't wrong. But while he's doing that, Gideon comes up and stabs him in the heart and sends him to the lonely place that he was in earlier, the desert with the cactus.
Yep.
And
that's where Ramona like explains that Gideon has this power over her, where she becomes obsessed with him, and that, it's
but she also reminds him, I can't remember exactly what she says, but she reminds him that he has the extra life.
Yeah.
And he grabs that, and we go back through the prep scene, and then he runs out of the house.
And this time he does not answer the questions. He just kills them.
He just kills everyone. He goes in. He's like, I don't have time for your bullshit. He tells the truth to the ladies.
Yes.
And which earns him the power of self-respect and a different sword. Yeah. This time, Knives Chow decides to fight with him because he's been honest, like on his side against Gideon. I don't know if there's anything that we really need to talk about the fight other than that
I mean, it's a bitch and sword fight. I mean...
Yeah, it's a cool sword fight, and Jason Schwartzman, whose name we haven't even mentioned.
I know. He's perfect as like a
awesome
squirrely bad guy. Yeah.
Yes. It's so Schwartzman. It's like if the kid from Rushmore grew up to be a total fuckhead.
Yeah.
Or kept being a total fuckhead.
Kept being a total fuck. He learned nothing from Bill Murray.
Right. But yeah, they end up beating him. And probably the reason Ramona in the movie doesn't say "I love you" and earn the power of love is because the next scene is her saying "I'm leaving."
Yeah. So, well, there's one bigger boss to all of this. It's like after he defeats Gideon,
I forgot about the big boss.
He has to fight himself, which was Nega Scott. So there's that comes from the video game that he and Knives played, and. They're like, no, you guys go outside. I have to do this myself. And, I do like that Steven doesn't quite understand that when Gideon exploded into coins, that their record deal is also gone.
Yeah. He's like, we're still getting paid, right?
It's like, no, there goes our deal. And so then he starts like scooping up coins.
Yep. That was a lot of coin that time. It was way more than $2.40.
Yeah, it was 7 million coins or 7 million points.
Well, you'd have to do the math on $1,000 to $2.40 to see what 7 million.
Oh boy!
I feel like there's some powers of 10 involved though, because that's a lot more coins.
It is a lot more coins.
The third time or the fourth time, yeah. Maybe
so
they're all
exponential.
Pennies, I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah.
Maybe it's U.S. coins at the end.
Ooh. That would
sending all our pennies there.
That's what I'm talking about.
So basically he's like, no, you guys go wait for me outside. This is something I have to do myself. And so just smash cut to them outside, the garage door opening, and them coming out like being best buds.
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense, and it says something about Scott that his nega version is still him.
Yeah, he's still his own worst enemy.
There's a lot of overlap.
Yes.
It's like,
he's so neutral of it.
Hey, he's all right. He's a pretty nice guy. We just shot the shit. We're gonna have brunch tomorrow. So and this is where Ramona gets the idea that maybe Scott and Knives are better for each other because they kind of have a nice little end to their story. But Knives, and when she's walking off, Knives is like, no, this is who you've been fighting for this whole time. Go after her. And so this is how the comic ends, is that they decide to try again, and they go through It just ends with them going through a subspace door.
Yeah, and I like the little continue thing that like the motif that's been played throughout the movie. Like it's good, good ending to it. Playing the 10, 9, 8. Stephanie told me who did that voice is Bill Hader. I had no idea it was him.
Yeah.
Huh.
I saw him in the credits. I was yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Huh.
I was like, that makes sense that it's Bill Hader, but I didn't realize that when we were watching it.
It only made sense for me because I saw him in the credits. I was like, who the hell was he? So
Good job, Jason.
Yeah.
Maybe Steph saw it there too, but I feel like she just recognized.
That's right. It's right here in Wikipedia. Other characters: Bill Hader as the voice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh. It's is it Nelson Franklin who's the guy that we were trying to figure out?
Yes. He's been in a lot of things.
Yeah. He totally looks like that guy where it's like, oh shit, he's here.
I think he was on Office even for a little while.
Oh yeah.
He was. He was Nick. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, he's on Yellow Jackets. They had a couple episodes of that.
Oh, interesting.
You watched that, didn't you?
I watched the first 2 seasons. I don't remember him.
He's in the 3rd season.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Anyhow, I love this movie. It's the right little bit of everything that I look for in entertainment. It has that Adult Swim style humor that I really, really like. It's totally fantastical. So it's like, it truly is escapist entertainment for me.
I'll be honest. I was a little nervous. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this now. Like, I thought it would feel dated, which it does not. Probably because the time period it's doing is not defined, exactly. But I was like, oh my God, this is way better than, not that I remembered it being. I just assumed I would like it less for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
I think I did like it a little less, but I still liked it enough. Like, it's more timeless than I imagined it would be.
Yeah.
But it's also more of a, what do they call it when you bury
A time capsule.
Time capsule. Thank you. Jesus. Yeah, it's a little bit more of a time capsule too, of like the aughts, Canadian music scene.
The early aughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it too. Yeah.
I think that the one thing that I think does it for me is not only are there just a bunch of people in it that are like, just half of them were nothing at the time.
That's was the most fun for me.
Yeah.
Seeing all the people show up.
Yeah. But like Michael Cera is just the perfect Scott Pilgrim. Like that was another thing. Like when the movie got announced and I'd been reading the books and it's like, oh God, yes, this is the right guy. And it's hard not to really, really, really crush on Ramona Flowers. It's not quite the pixie manic dream girl that was common of the early aughts.
She is pretty Eternal Sunshine though.
It is a little Eternal Sunshine, but there's one thing that I think is really interesting. I don't know if you guys watched the sequel series on Netflix.
I did not.
I never did.
She's the lead in it. Scott is taken away and she has to fight for him now. And it's all the original voice. It's all the original actors playing their voices. So it's an interesting flip side to it where it's almost like it redoes some things, but then there's like a whole new element to it. Where, and it's truly treated like a sequel too. So it's really interesting. But it's, I would, or especially you guys who like, and especially you, Jason, because I think Chuck, you would read it anyway if you had the opportunity and you started. But Jason, I think the book you would dig the shit out of because it's kind of almost avant-garde in the way that it tells its story. It is Brian Lee O'Malley writes a lot of very unique stuff in a lot of different genres. And in Scott Pilgrim, in that series, he writes a lot of genres in that series.
Right.
So yeah,
Cool.
definitely recommend you picking that up. It's worth the investment. No, I mean, I will never not love this movie. I will always have an itch to watch it occasionally from time to time where it's like, hey, you know what? That sounds like the perfect thing to put on right now. I want to vibe to this,
Vibe to this.
And
funky.
certainly the soundtrack is something I vibe with a lot. Threshold's
Very
been
nice.
stuck in my head since 2 days ago when I watched this. So anyway, yeah, I think we're off to a good start here for Comic Book Month.
Good
agree.
start. Good start.
Speaking of this just being the start, what's next in comic book?
Well, next, we're going to take a step up.
Oh.
I think an even better comic book movie is coming next week.
Oh.
One of my all-time favorite superhero movies, hands down, without a doubt, period, end of story. We've got Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man 2. I like the first as Spider-Man 2. Yeah. I really liked the first Spider-Man when it came out in 2002. It's a little dated now, but when this came out in 2004, it's like, holy shit, that just blasted that right out, not just out of the water, out of the fucking ocean.
It's a much better movie.
Pretty big.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. I've got lots to say about what Sam Raimi did and what Tobey Maguire helped capture with this, so I can't wait to talk about it. We're going to do that on July 9th, 2025. Be at filmseizure.com, and you can learn all about that. You can also find where you can follow us, where you can subscribe to the various places our podcast can be found.
Nice.
Deep breath. This upcoming Monday, all those same places, filmseizure.com, I have an episode of Monster Mondays for you where I return to the world of Ultra Q. That's another thing I think you guys would really dig. Chuck, I know you dig it because it's kaiju, but Jason, I think you'd like it too. Kind of X-Files-y with giant monsters.
Nice.
I've got episodes 12 through 14 of that for Monster Mondays. So join me for that. There's actually a really famous monster as one of the episodes in terms of Ultraman and Ultra Q go. So that is Monday at filmseizure.com. That's July 7th. This upcoming Friday, 4th of July, at my website, bmovieanima.com, one of the worst movies ever covered on the blog, Honorable Men. It is something, man. I mean, like, even when I was proofreading, I was like, I sound like a crazy person trying
Is
to
Steve Cole,
explain this.
Sean Austin in it?
Oh my god,
No.
the movie cover art is hilarious.
Yeah, that's your hero. That is your lead star. It's awful. It is terrible. It's been on a best of worst, Jason. So
Yeah, it looks familiar. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so that's Honorable Men on July 4th because that's how we celebrate the 4th of July around these bits with Honorable Men. Anyhow, yeah. So until next week, when we sling our way into some Spidey, some web slinging, I am Geoff Arbuckle.
I'm Chuck Moore.
I am bi-furious. You have been listening to Film Seizure.